Welcome back to the program, everybody. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, But It Ain't No Theory. My name is Adrienne Alice. I am a singer-songwriter, author, model, musician. I'm the author of a 2-part book series called Lucy's Lair, Part 1 and Part 2. A book series reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture and child sex trafficking, which was why I was canceled by the Thought Police, RoboCop, and or the woke mob. I'm the girl with the phoenix rising from her sternum, from my sternum, who is responsible for changing the world as we knew it. And stay tuned for more of that saucy sauce. All right, so I hope everybody is enjoying their beautiful Friday morning so far. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Today is Friday, January 27, 2023. It's about 11 o'clock. We got about roughly 11 o'clock. Now, it was 9:45 when I started recording this, and of course, I never get what I want. I'm never really happy with the first few thousand takes. For whatever reason. I kind of need time to warm up a little bit, usually. And so I'm a little distracted today. I got up really, really early. I got a lot of things done. Before the sun was even out, I got downtown and I was able to see how all the COVID riots had cleared out and to see the transformation that this downtown city has made, downtown Seattle. So, still posted up here in Seattle, still doing pretty amazingly great considering all things. All right, so welcome back to the program, everybody. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, But It Ain't No Theory. My name is Adrienne Alice. I am a singer-songwriter, author, model, musician. I am the author of a 2-part book series called Lucy's Lair, Part 1 and Part 2, a book series reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture and child sex trafficking. And this is one of the reasons that I was canceled in the first place and have been mobbed. So like I was saying, the name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, But It Ain't No Theory. Today is a beautiful and wonderful and fabulous and spectacular Friday morning that I started early and am enjoying very much so far. So I hope everybody else is as well. All right, so on this program, I will be discussing today and reviewing my experience with the gang stalking, the remote gang stalking, cyber torture, revenge for hire, revenge leakage data for hire. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but I just made that up. No touch torture, slow kill program. Okay, so another one of the things I want to go over on today's program is the spiritual warfare component to the satanic, occult, ritualistic practice of gang stalking or scapegoating. The black magic, the blood magic, the satanic sacrifices made, and then also too like the blood contracts, the hypnosis, spells, curses, portals, and how it all pertains to the safety of a TI, otherwise known as a modern-day slave or a trafficked victim. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. All right, so I hope everybody is enjoying their morning so far. And so one of the things I wanted to go over is how the government or the shadow government is policing the data, also policing the internet by using gang stalking as a way to terminate thought bots, anything that society deems the weakest link or enemy of the state. So also how the big tech companies are priming evil, and I'll get more into that later, but it's coming up on today's program. These are just a few of the things that we're going to be discussing. So they'll buy a product just to put the target out. So like similarly to the way that they will take up all the parking to put the target out of parking. They'll also too, they'll buy products either in person or online. They'll buy them out, just the whole entire product out. They'll buy it out, so that way that puts the target out. They'll make it seem like products are not available online that actually are. Hackers are actually able to make it seem like using computer generation, they're able to make it seem like there's more than there are or less than there is. Excuse me. So hackers can actually hack a celebrity's account. Literally, they can hack a celebrity's account. They can make the celebrity's account look like they have more likes, more followers, or less, which is exactly what they're doing with me. They can make a product look like there's more or less or none, which is what they're doing to me. They can try to make it in the 3D once it's in the flesh. They can try to make it seem like all these people are in on it, but there are not as many people in on it. They're just really good manipulators. So one of the main things I really wanted to focus on today, other than what I've already discussed and gone over, was the fact that big tech primes evil. Okay, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Not only do they boast and do they brag, but they prime this evil. They want these people, their targets, to be evil. Okay, and so one of the biggest issues I have with the TED Talks lady that we were earlier discussing this week about how she's super evil, and the reason why I say that is because they are not working to keep these people out of jail. Oh, no. Nope, not even close. Okay, they are working to entrap these people, to keep them impoverished, to keep them in the ghettos, to keep them victims, to keep them on the verge of insanity, to keep them unsafe, to keep everything about them unprivate, to exploit them, to abuse them. Every single thing that I talk about is evil. So the lady on TED Talk talking about gang stalking, well, yeah, they're definitely gang stalking, and they're guilty of it too. They straight up say it. So there's no denying it. You know, they say it themselves. And so that is exactly what they're doing. And so they're just validating my truth. I'm just coming along and putting a cherry on top of what they are already saying and what they are already doing. All right, and so my experience with gang stalking, okay, as a TI, that's basically what this entire show and this whole entire channel and this entire program is dedicated to. So my experience with gang stalking online and in person, how has it affected my life? I will say many of my dreams have been shattered. I will say the sexual harassment is devastating. It has a greater effect on a TI that's a woman. Well, they're all women, like I've already said. It has a greater effect on these women's self-esteem. And I feel like the social engineering of the TIs, like private data, let's say, you know, nudes, stuff like this. The social engineering of a TI's nudes, the social engineering of any TI's traumatic experience, even if it wasn't a traumatic experience, the TI may have just been living their best life and enjoying their best life, enjoying their body. And then, of course, as a trafficked victim, which all TIs are, as a slave, they're exploited sexually. And so not only are people being punished around them for supporting them, because all of these people are also considered racist Nazi supremacists, even though they're not. And I understand that technically that white supremacy is an idea. It's a way overgeneralized ideology. I understand that. And so as such, you have a lot of black supremacists, black skinheads, which, you know, I've only ever met a black skinhead. I've never met a white supremacist. I've never met a white skinhead. And a lot of the people I know as well will tell you the same exact thing. And so as such, I wasn't raised by any white people in my family. Matter of fact, I was rescued from them. That's what the foster care system is for, right? And so I wouldn't know anything about that ideology. So I can't say to you how or why there's these black skinheads, but there are, okay? Also, too, none of my business, you know, it has nothing to do with me. Like I said, I was rescued from that ideology, that white supremacist ideology, and then so I was sheltered from that. And then I was also, too, rehabilitated from that ideology. Like, so there's at a very young age too, so there's no way you can sit here and try to say the things that you've been saying, and even if I get so irritated that I come out and say the things that I've been saying, it's to be expected. What do you think? You're just going to continue to sexually exploit these women and they're not going to say anything to hurt your feelings back? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And, you know, also, too, I can't explain to you, nor do I want to, why you have all these black people thinking that they're Hitler and behaving like such, trafficking white people, enslaving white people, and then saying that they're doing it because these people are racist. That's not true. Again, you don't get to sexually exploit these trafficked victims, whether it's them or their children. And you have done that to me and to my children and to Jerron's family and to Jerron's family's children as well. I don't want to hear it. I'm so sick and tired of the fucking 5-0 trying to tell this poor MK Ultra victim that they're racist or that they're crazy or that they're schizophrenic or anything of the sort. They're lies. They're all lies. You're a lie. You're a murderer. That's the truth. You sexually exploited me and my children. That's the truth. You did this all under the basis of, well, this bitch is fucking racist. And that was a lie. How am I racist if I was sheltered from that ideology when at a young age as a foster child? You are so racist. You mean to tell me that these foster children and these orphans are racist because they had a black foster family that they didn't choose? So you mean to tell me that you're so racist that you mean to say a black person shouldn't help a white foster families or foster children because that's racist? That makes you racist. You're the only one racist for thinking that I shouldn't have a black adopted family or a black foster family. You're the only one that's racist. If you think that black people shouldn't have white foster children, you're the only one that's racist. You think you're Hitler. Black Lives Matter is KKK. And they're getting away with all of this criminality under the guise of, well, these people had it coming. That's their karma. What do you think your karma's gonna be? Alright, so as you can see, we have here on this screen this cheap looking ass fucking bitch. I fucking went online because I wanted to see how cheap this bitch actually was. They like to talk in numbers, alright? This is really schizophrenic, but look, gang stalkers and remote gang stalkers like to try to talk in like secret special meanings, and so they use numbers. I wanted to go online and see how cheap this bitch actually was, because even with all of that fucking makeup, this bitch is still ugly as fuck. And so, look, y'all, I'm not really one for hitting below the belt, you know what I'm saying? I speak the truth sometimes unknowingly that people are going to get upset. I understand that, but I never really fully understand how upset people are going to be. Now, as you can see, it straight up says on this website here that we have, it is Amazon, so it says be wicked. Y'all just seen it. It's encouraging this person to be wicked. This TI, excuse me. I say person, but what I mean is TI. So there's the rest of the world, and they're all just people, and then there's a TI, and they're very different. So anyways, you can see here, it tells the TI again. It's wicked. Do you see that here? And it talks to me again in numbers. Look, 8969, those are my numbers, and that is some of the numbers that they try to use frequently. 999 is another one of my numbers. And so you can see here we got a whole entire celebrity doing it all for $16.90 for the grand total price of $16.99. $16.99. That was the price. I heard you say that you don't love me anymore. Do all for the very low price of $16.99 just to say you about that life. Yo. Okay, so like I was saying, one of the things I wanted to go over was that the big tech is priming evil. They want people to be killers. They want people to be suicidal. So the lady on TED Talks, that's what she meant to say. She is priming them and exploiting them so that they will be so mortified that they'll commit suicide, so that they don't have to take them to jail. That's what she meant. And technically, that is keeping them out of jail. Driving them to the point of suicide is definitely keeping them out of jail. She's right about that, for sure. They want to keep you out of jail because they know they can arrest everybody. Quotas have already been met. All right, so of course, another one of the things that I'm going to be going over today on today's program, I got the dopest program on the planet. I am the dopest artist on the planet. Do I have to spread my wings and let you hear it one more time? Because I know you already heard it, and I know I can do better than that. Like I said, I sing better than Whitney Houston on crack. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. And I ain't never lied. So anyways, additionally, I write all my content. I ghost produce all of yours as well. So anyways, what they're doing, what the gang stalkers are doing, what they are actually being able to do, how they're being able to utilize the criminal justice system in their favor illegally, is that they are letting these convicted, basically felons, they're letting them out, these ones that have been convicted of rape, molestation charges, stuff like that, so they can gangbang their trafficked victim, their TI, remotely, so that they can create or simulate, basically trauma-based mind control, and also too no-touch torture. So the lady on TED Talks is absolutely correct. Everything she's saying is true. They are trying to keep you out of jail, for sure. They're trying their best to keep you out of jail, but that's only because they want you to commit suicide. That's what the COINTELPRO is. Hello. They want you destitute. They can't lock you up. They got less than shit on you, my nigga. You got more on them than they will ever have you. What do they have? Moles and a stretch mark? If they don't stop playing with me. Anyways, they're letting these people, these convicted felons, usually they're convicted of a sex crime. Okay, come on. These Hollywood superheroes are so jealous. They're letting convicted felons, usually convicted of a sex crime, out so that they can target remotely these trafficked victims. Not because they're not sexy to them. Apparently, the only one that they were interested in is the one that was dead. The one that they murdered was the one. And then I'm just saying. I'm just speaking my truth. So the one that was murdered was the one that they are supposedly sexually attracted to. And now that's a lie. But so that's what they say. They say, oh yeah, that's their wifey. That's wifey. And so because they're not attracted to they trafficked victim sexually, because they are all pedophiles. And they don't think women's lives are even worth living a day past the age of 25. No woman is. That's according to them and their new world order. Okay? So, anyways, so they be letting criminals out on bail. So they just decide who gets trafficked, right? And so because this person to them is a biological weapon, they'll let somebody out. Usually this person is and has already been convicted of a sex crime, and more than likely this person has an STD too. So y'all need to be really careful with these honey traps. You need to be very, 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 very careful with these honey traps. I'm telling you right now. Even if they don't know they working for the government, they working as a silent operative. You just don't know that, big dummy. And of course, they come out with everything that you like. Duh. They done took the time out to get to know everything about you. Covertly. And then then these big ass dummies, they done retroalized the whole thing down to the point where it's like, you know, a motherfucker could just be sitting there waiting for you to pop up on the same day or night that you always pop up. And they could blow your fucking brains out. And yet, that's what you signing yourself up for. That's what you signing your people, your people, that you swear you care about so much. That's what you signing them up for. And so, you know, I had to pull out my accent, my classic accent, just so I can distort cognitively my haters, okay? All right? You know I had to do that one time. So anyways, it is Friday, y'all, and I am enjoying my beautiful day. And so, yes, they are absolutely letting their people have first-class access. They're criminal people. They're giving these criminal people first-hand access to political rivals' nudes via leaked data, metadata. Okay? All right, so we're going to be doing a whole lot of talking and singing on this program, and I just cannot wait to get to it. Because the one thing that my haters cannot do, stand on their own, talk by themselves, and sing. They need their, quote, people for that. So, in any case, I'm a big girl. I can even fuck myself all by myself. I can even come all by myself. So nobody else is involved. So anyways, oh yeah, shout out to De La Graves. I didn't get a chance to catch his full name because he tried to hide it with his shoulder when I went to look. But I did get his last name. And one of these days I'm going to go ahead and take a little photo of his Facebook and let everybody know how fat his wife actually is. Dumbass bitch. So anyways, still running game on these hoes. And still actually rising above them, because despite what I have said, it's my right to say whatever I want to say. I've earned that right. Besides, I have actual rights. So, in addition to my actual rights, I've already earned my place in the world to say and express whatever the fuck I want to say and express. So, you know, you get off to my moles and stretch marks, and that's the highlight of your success, buddy. And it fucking really does suck to fucking be you, you know? It really fucking does. And I can tell that. I can tell that from the photos and the evidence I've taken. You don't look up, you look down. Because you're a basement fucking dweller. Duh. And so you should, in all actuality, have some fucking human decency and respect for the ghost producer of everything. But you don't. You live in a fucking psychotic delusion. A psychotic delusion that you are actually a superhero somewhere fighting Hitler. My best friend's birthday is on Martin Luther King's Day, so you mean to tell me that Hitler and Martin Luther King, baby Hitler and baby Martin Luther King, are best friends? There's no such thing. I mean, how? If you make the rules, so you tell me, how is that even possible? Not only that, but he's black. All right, so we just went over a little bit about how they were letting criminals convicted of rape and or molestation charges out so they can gangbang their trafficked victims remotely. All right, so on the screen I have provided a very simple example of what this criminal looks like. Gang stalker, basically number one, that was sent out to try to get me involved with them, and their criminality, trying to tie these two targets together criminally. And as you can see in the photo, he's looking at me like, what's up, dog? Like, he's looking at me like, what's up, dog? I don't know if you guys anyways, I have a whole entire video of this clown, and he's been caught up. Straight done for. So the device will already be preloaded daily. So this has been done every single day for the past 4 years since COVID-19 started. And for me, COVID-19 started October 31st, 2019, when my tattoo shop was broken into, and we'll get more into that a little bit later, coming up here really soon. And ever since then, the device has been downloaded with subliminal messages, all targeted to a specific individual, that individual being the device owner, call owner. Because once you have a virus on your device, like the way that mine has been infected with, you have more than one owner of the phone. So somebody could say anything, and it very well could just be the hackers. So these TIs should never be convicted of any crime. It is the gang stalkers. They're responsible for that. They've set them up 110%. That's what an entrapment operation entails. 110%. And it doesn't entail anything else. So going forward, that's where it starts and that's where it ends from here on out. And I've already provided for you guys a whole lot of information. That I have already provided for you guys in regards to remote gang stalking. You can go ahead and check some more of that out there on the screen. But in any case, the tattoo shop that I go to get my ink was broken into. They were mobbed as well on October 31st, 2019, before the pandemic began. And so that is interesting to note, because the people that I have featured coming up next are all involved in this conspiracy. So here we have Rihanna, and her tattoo is apparently Egyptian, and she is not, and no further explanation is really needed. And then here, of course, we have Nicki Minaj's clown ass, and her tattoo is Chinese, Japanese, and she is not. No further explanation needed. Alright, and so coming up here, we have, on this screen here, we have Ben Affleck. And I do believe he was just recently dating Jennifer Lopez again. Interesting to note. However, that was just another gang stalking rumor. It was not true. It was just made up to persecute their targets, their female political rivals. And so they're all guilty of conspiracy as well. And so one of the things I wanted to discuss and mention on today's program is the double standards that come about as a result of a toxic society, an abusive society, a biased society, a sexist society. So I think it is really interesting that Ben Affleck isn't getting gang stalked. He's not getting canceled. He's not being called Hitler. And when I see pictures of him and Jennifer Lopez, I laugh. I think to myself, it's hysterical not only how much they're aging and how desperate they are for attention and what they'll do to get it, but also to how much in debt they are, and how much they owe in restitutions. Which is probably why you don't see very much of them at all, and nobody's complaining. So why is Ben Affleck not being gang stalked? That is a good question. It's interesting to note, as they all set these double standards and make all of these rules and apply them. So Insecure people project a lot as a coping mechanism. You can look this up on Google and YouTube. It's all true. There's professionals and expert psychologists discussing the same exact thing that I'm talking about right now. And the reason for them projecting is because they seem to not be able to process guilt. They don't have any empathy. They lack empathy. They are self-love deficient. So many times I ask myself, why they owe so much in restitutions, because I'm aware that they're self-love deficient and that they must have many victims. It's just a given. People fearing them placate to them. And so they're willing to lie for them, go to bat for them, occult stuff. But projection is nothing more than the inability to process guilt or empathy of any kind. In order to process guilt, you have to possess empathy. You have to be empathetic. People who lack empathy cannot feel guilty. So, my gang stalkers and my conspirators and my remote gang stalkers and all of the people who have conspired against me and have been, quote, in it together to do such a thing, they are all guilty. And they cannot and will not ever be able to possess and process the guilt that comes with the murder, the conspiracy, the bloodshed, the guilt that comes with the sexual exploitation. There's a file of me taking a shit somewhere, and it's just sitting there in the FBI's records for no reason other than the fact that somebody with money thought it would be funny to conspire against me because they were jealous. They lack zero empathy. And if any one of these conspirators had an empathetic bone in them, this file of me taking a shit would not exist. It would be deleted by tomorrow morning. But they don't. They can't even covertly possess empathy on the down low. They can't even simulate empathy because they can't process guilt. They won't. They will never be able to process guilt. It's the one thing that an empath has that a narcissist, psychopath, and sadist will never have. A soul. A spiritual conscience. The conscience to know the difference between right and wrong. What you're doing, having me taking a shit as a file in the FBI just sitting there? For what? Literally, for what? What is it doing there? And so whatever, everybody knows that that's like the juiciest blackmail, right? Like, take a fucking video of this hot chick fucking taking a shit and then just fucking use it to torture and blackmail her until we get what we want out of her or whatever. So, politically targeted individual just means women, okay? So like men in the 5-0, the police officers, the government, they are abusing their power and then they're using that to do these illegal and backdoor operations. And they're targeting individuals that are not criminal. I don't have a criminal record of any kind. I have been in trouble with the law one time in my life, and I have never, ever, ever gotten in trouble again. And when I was a child, I was conspired against. When I was 11 years old, I went to a group home, and I got in trouble in my foster home for lighting a match on a bus, on the school bus that I didn't light. My fucking baby foster sister lit that match. And she's the only one that had access into the area to even get the matches in the first place. So I wasn't even allowed to get into the area where the matches were. And so my baby sister, my baby foster sister was able to get there. And this is one of the things that the movie Holes with Shia LaBeouf and a couple other mainstream actors. I can't remember names because I'm horrible when it comes to names. But anyways,
That this is what, you know, movies like that really remind me of, and I very well could be the ghost producer of that movie too. You know, some of these things are outside of time. It is not crazy to think that some of these gang stalkers are outside of time, because they are. Okay? And so I wouldn't put it past them if I might very well be the ghost producer of that movie too. And I'm not being, this isn't crazy, this isn't outlandish, because the technology is there. And so you have to know that the ideas behind these movies, they come from somewhere, or from someone, or from something. That's the only real reason why I go over it as many times as I do, because people need to know that they're not smart enough. They're not, to produce all of this propaganda. They need it to come from something. They need it to come from somewhere. And they all, even collectively all together, they don't. They don't have enough intel. Even though they sit around watching billions of people, the same billions of people all day long, every single day, they still come up, like I said, you can put all the same genius babies in the same tank, and what I meant to say was this, you'll still come up with the same answer. Yesterday when I was having this discussion, I vaguely remember talking about this. You can put the same genius babies in the same think tank, and you'll still come up with the same answer. Basically, is what I felt short at mentioning yesterday is what I'm going to go ahead and mention today. And this is what I meant. You can put the same genius babies in a think tank, and you're just going to keep coming up with the same answer. And so that's why artists are different from doctors and scientists. And that's why artists are needed. They're needed. Even the female artists are needed, because they see the world differently. And where everything else falls short, they pick it up. Right where it falls off, the artist is able to say, like, hey, wait a second, there's beauty in this fall. There's beauty, there's meaning in this. There's a lot of meaning in this. And so you never really fall when you're an artist. You can't fail when you're an artist. You're a whole entire fucking masterpiece as it stands. So no. That's manipulation. Okay? That's brainwash. That's evil. And one of the things I wanted to go over, and that I'm going to cover today, is the honey-trapped, quote, cheating entrapment operation. And now this is not something that they promote for their TI, their female target, their female enemy of the state. This is not, they do not try to get their female target to cheat. This isn't something that they promote for the female target. No. Because in their eyes, this is a ego boost. Cheating is an ego boost. And a lot of these women don't need an ass implant. What they need is a good fucking. You know, nothing's going to make them feel more confident than that. Really, truly. And so they don't need a fucking ass implants or boob implants or whatever major extremist thing that these evil MK Ultra operatives have implanted into their minds and manipulated them into thinking and believing. They don't need that. What they need is a good old-fashioned dick down, and that's it. That's it. They need to feel appreciated. They need their bodies to feel loved. That's it. Because they're more than enough already as it stands. All these other bitches want to be them. And that's the truth. And all of these bitches wish they could just be one of their fucking moles. Or wish they could be just one of their fucking stretch marks, or one of their failures, or one of their flaws. Because when you're a dope artist, there's no flaws, there's no failures. These people are learning from every single one of my failures. So that's how I know. And that is validation for being the dope artist that I know that I am. I don't even have to fucking say that. That's just a given, okay? Whatever. But one of the things I wanted to go over before I end today's program was the cheating entrapment operation. And also, too, the hate speech. Okay, there was two last things I wanted to mention before I log off here for the day, because it is Friday and I want to enjoy the rest of my day as much as I can. So, The cheating entrapment operation, I'm going to post some pictures here in just a second. I'll clip it and I'll let you know what I'm talking about. So there will be CBAs, community-based agents, that will be employed. They will be paid to set up a cheating entrapment operation. And so basically, even if this entrapment operation fails, again, they don't see it as a failure, because even if it just so much as makes the target insecure, jealous, or whatever, like, it doesn't matter to them, that's still a success. And so the goal is not necessarily to have the targeted individual's husband cheat necessarily. That's not the goal. The goal is to have the TI's husband engage in scandalous, conversations, DMs, back and forth, this and that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add to you what they're more than likely men that are catfishing my fiance, and then of course, because my fiance has also been MK Ultra, also been mind wiped, also been evil, manipulated, and they've also been conformed. They've also been corrupt. Okay. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this relationship, once you get to this deep of gang stalking, the relationship is just like the one you see on the Truman Show. And so it is as fake gets. And so you'll see what I'm talking about as soon as I add these few little clips here. Like I said yesterday, one of the reasons why they don't mind me being in this relationship is because they know that the man I'm dating is suffering also from mental health issues as well. He's highly narcissistic, and he is abusive as fuck and toxic as fuck, and the one thing that they love to do more than anything is to exclude, triangulate, cheat, and lie and manipulate. So it's just another form of the MK Ultra, right? And also too, narcissistic abuse is gaslighting, in a nutshell. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to. So, yeah, they would love to corrupt my relationship, and they have, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But more than anything, it's not something that they're not encouraging the TI to cheat. They're encouraging the TI's significant other to cheat. And so they're imposing on the relationship in many different ways. Like one of the programs I did, one of the very first programs I did, I remember mentioning the fact that they broke into my car. They went as far as breaking into my car and putting hoop earrings in there. Okay? And so, and this is, I have video footage of this. I can recall exactly when this happened, and I did a video then. And so one of the reasons why I started doing so many of these videos is so that I can actually have a log, a legit log that's been recorded, documented, and there it is. You can see it for yourself. The time, the day, everything. Because, most of this AI is tracking all of that for us anyways. So you can see the time in the day where he's in the DMs telling the TI, hello, beautiful. Meanwhile, they don't like any single one of the actual TI's photos. They aren't sending them to any vocal lessons. They're not sending them or hooking them up with any gigs. And I don't just mean this for my actual fiance, and I don't just mean this for my actual boyfriend in my actual relationship. I mean this for my spirit self too. I mean this for all of the people who have sexually exploited me and have abused me as if I was one of their fucking side hoes, and have used me like toilet paper as such. That's what I'm saying, and this is how serious I am when it comes to exposing this corruption. You don't like any of your fucking fiance's fucking photos. You wouldn't support her modeling career. You haven't sent her to go get any vocal lessons. She doesn't have any working instrument. Everything she has had, she brought to the table before she even met you. And now you're using her and her story as a way to get empathy from other women. And instead of calling your woman beautiful, you're in the DMs of your catfish gang stalkers. You know how much that makes them fucking laugh their asses off? Mission accomplished. And you know, at the end of the day, the only reason why I shed light on these things, and the only reason why I talk the way that I do, is so that people can see I am really about that life. Okay? I'm going to be signing off here for today. I love you all. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you next week. Take care.